September didn't go as planned. I only read 5 books, but I would still like to talk about it as well as some other things in this video. First things first, I have my sticky note because I haven't done my reading journal yet, but that's okay. I've read 5 books. I read 4 fantasy, 1 literary fic. I read a total of 1,800 pages. No, that's not right. 1,805 pages. That extra 5 pages makes a difference. And I had an average rating of 3.8 stars, which I don't think is pretty bad. Like, I don't think is bad. I don't think it's bad. I do not think that that is a bad average rating. I will get into it though, because we had one book that, for me, bombed. The first book that I read in September was Foxglove. I love the Belladonna series. I cannot get over it. I read Foxglove and immediately afterwards I read Wisteria. These are the US editions. I do also have the UK editions, which I prefer personally. I think they're so beautiful and stunning. I love them. But I did read these books back to back and just absolutely incredible, absolutely phenomenal. I have nothing but good things to say. In Foxglove, this book I gave 4 stars. Wisteria, I gave 5 stars. In Foxglove though, this carries on. It kind of closes the Signa death love story. And I thought it was just so beautiful. And the way that they hand the baton off so that we can have new characters in Wisteria, just phenomenal, just absolutely phenomenal. I love the introduction of new characters. This is book 2 in Belladonna, so I'm trying to keep it kind of vague, but at the same time, it was just such a beautiful love story. I really enjoyed just like the chaos and confusion that kind of came about in this book. I think it was really well done. And I think that just experiencing all of the, like, if you've seen the Vampire Diaries, where it's like Stefan, Damon, Elena love triangle. I don't know how to explain this. It's not coming out correctly, but I just really like the way that their love is described and the way that their love is, like, how she's more comfortable in the cold.
Your hand is so cold.
I don't know, I just really liked it. I just really liked how she craved the coldness of death over this other character.
Because it'll be him. It's always been him.
I'm trying not to spoil anything, but it was fantastic. It was absolutely amazing. Please read this entire series. This book was phenomenal. These are completely different characters from the Belladonna series, but it's book 3 to close up this trilogy. I hope they do a spin-off series because there were more characters introduced into this that I'm like, I need more. Like, I want so much more. This was beautiful. This was kind of just like one of those things where we know what's going on. Signa and Death know what's going on, but our main characters do not know what's going on. And that made it very fun just to like watch them figure it out on their own. And I do enjoy, while they're figuring it out on their own, it's not obvious. Like, there's still a lot going on that it's believable that they're clueless, if that makes sense. Like, there's sometimes where the author lets the reader know what's going on, but the characters don't understand it, and the reader's like, you're an idiot if you don't know that this is what's going on. Like, how did you get this far in life? So it was very believable that they were still very confused about the situation. So yeah, but I really liked it, and I thought it was so cute. And it's a slow burn. It's a very slow burn, and I love a good slow burn. It was great. It was so great. After those books, I read Apprentice to the Villain. This is this second book in the Assistant to the Villain. And I think there is only 3 books. Maybe there's more. I'm not sure. I was told that this might be YA because there's no smut, no spice, and the other books that I showed you, those are YA. The Belladonna series is YA. This book, I was told, is YA, but there's a lot of adult themes in this book that I do not think are appropriate for children. There's even, like, at the beginning, There's even not disclaimer, what is this? Trigger warning. There's even like a trigger warning at the very beginning where it talks about like the adult themes that go on in this book. He is a villain. He is a morally gray character. He does do a lot of bad things. I would not say this is YA. I would just say that this is an adult book that has no smut and no spice. Like, that's what I would call it. So, but I really did like this. I thought it was so much better than the first one. I think I have a review of the first one on YouTube. I don't remember. If I do, I will try and link it somewhere. But in the first book, I loved it. And then I got to the last 100 pages and I was like, what are you doing, baby? Like, what happened here? I thought it was such a great first book, except for the last 100 pages. I was mad about that. That I was just angry about. I thought that it just bombed. This book, I think, is so much better. I think the pacing is a lot better. I think the characters are much more fleshed out. And I think that, like, just overall, the themes in this book were a lot stronger than what was going on in the first book. So I preferred this one over the first one. If you were in the same boat, if you were like, the first one just didn't captivate me, I read it and it was okay, but I don't know if I'm going to carry on, try the second one because I preferred it so much more, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. And then to round it out, I read The Spell Shop. This is by Sarah Beth Durst. This came out recent. I think it came out either in September or in August. I think it came out. It's a new book. And I read it and it was just so good. I really loved the coziness of everything that happened. This is definitely, if you play D&D, you're going to appreciate a lot that happens in this book because these characters were really fun and very similar to playing a cozy game of D&D where like nothing happens. Very similar to Legends and Lattes. Very similar to that book. But I really liked this one because you have this like librarian and she goes basically back to her hometown to escape, and she's got this little plant as her assistant, Kaz. He's so great. He's so adorable. I loved that. He just was such a good character. Like, he was so silly. He reminded me a lot of Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. In fact, this entire book reminded me a lot of Howl's Moving Castle, but not at the same time. It reminded me of like a Studio Ghibli movie plus D&D just like mixed into one. So if those are some like of your favorite things, you're gonna love this book. It's cozy, it's nice, it's perfect for as we go into fall weather and it starts to cool down and like you're inside more often and maybe it's raining, maybe like whatever. This is definitely the book that you want to curl up with some like hot chocolate, maybe like a Danish or something like that. This is the book. This is the book that you want. Like, it's just so perfect. I absolutely loved it. And I really liked that the story was just very simplistic. You know, again, we've got this librarian, her assistant plant, and they sail off to her home island and she just kind of starts a little spell shop, but it's illegal to do magic. You can't do magic, so it's illegal. So she instead calls them remedies and sells these remedies to the townsfolk and tries to revive this island. And that's like pretty much the whole thing. It's just her reviving this island back to its original splendor and trying to get these people so that they can survive on their own without the government. The government's kind of fallen apart. It's so cute. It's so cute. And I don't know if she's going to do another book. Like, if this author plans on writing any more, I will probably read it because the way she did this one was just so outstanding. I really loved it. I gave this 4 stars. I originally gave this 5 stars, but I knocked it down to 4 stars because I'm going to be honest, I don't think about it a lot, but I really enjoyed it when I was reading it. So I dropped it down to 4 stars. It's not a book that's gonna haunt me. Wisteria haunts me. The final book that I read in September was this book called Sandwich. This book is 226 pages. I gave it 2 stars. It's a literary fiction. And let me tell you, I was not the target audience for this book, okay? This book is about a 50-year-old woman going into menopause. She is very liberal, and I do not like to talk about politics, But I have to with this one because this one is very, very political. So excuse me while I kind of go and put my political hat on. I am not somebody, please do not look at me for advice in politics. I am not that type of a person. But while reading this book, it felt so close-minded. It felt like she was just so far liberal and woke that like you were always wrong. Like you were always in the wrong. And her children, the conversations that she had with her children, she was like, oh yes, look how good of communication we have, and we're so open and honest with each other, and da-da-da. There were no boundaries. None. There were no boundaries. There was nothing. And I felt like a lot of the time these children were not her children. They were just like younger, old friends of hers. It just, I don't know. And then her husband, I really liked her husband. I thought that they did the husband really well. And he's very boring, but not in a bad way. Like he's like a boring dude where like he respects his wife and he's kind of a saint. Like she's going through menopause and she's so angry and like her feelings are always on the verge of exploding and everybody is tiptoeing around her. I have no idea. There's so many side characters that have real problems going on in their life. And the mom doesn't once ask them how they're doing, how they're feeling, what's going on, like what's going on in their head. They're constantly asking her how she's doing though. And that to me just seems problematic. Like you're the parent, you're the mom. Why aren't you taking care of your children? Why are your children taking care of you? Like you need to take care of your kids. You need to, I'm not saying that like your husband needs to be taken care of, but at the same time, like maybe you could notice him. There is a part where he talks about something very serious with his parents. It got a paragraph and that was it. She moved on so fast. Like she just moved on so fast from that. And I was like, your husband probably wanted to talk about that, but okay. There's a lot of times where like she makes things about her and then people call her out on it and it's like, hey, you're making this about you and it's not about you. And she's like, it's just really upsetting for me. And I'm like, okay, but it's still not about you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So I don't know. It just, I don't know. Did I like it? No. Would someone else like it? I don't know. I have no idea. It's not a beach read. So don't pick this up and take it to the beach with you and think that you're just going to have like a fun, cute beach read. Because that's not it at all. There actually was no plot to this. It's just her day-to-day for the whole week with her family. And I don't know. It just, I don't know. It wasn't good. To me, it wasn't good. It might be good to somebody else. I don't think that anyone could be as perfect as this woman though, who apparently is just so perfect. Those are the books that I read in September. Now we're going to talk about the books that I'm going to read in October. I don't think I'm actually going to read all of these, but I would love to. I'm going to, full disclaimer, I haven't read a book this month and we're already granted, we're like 3 days in, but I haven't read a book this month. So, I haven't read in a while. My Goodreads says I'm 4 books behind and I don't know what's going to happen this month. I feel like, I have 5 weeks left before I give birth. And so I feel super behind. We had our baby shower last week. Now I'm just like, I have to do all this laundry. I have to get all of these things that we didn't get off the registry. Which granted, we got a lot of our big ticketed items, which I'm so grateful for. You have no idea how much that makes me not so anxious. But we still have things that we need to buy and things that we need to figure out. Surprisingly, nobody got us newborn clothes, and that was weird. No one got us any newborn clothes. We have a lot of clothes that are for like 3 to 6 ages, or 3 to 6 months and 6 to 9 months, but we didn't get anything for newborns. So I need to go buy some of that because I'm assuming when this baby is born, at least for a week or two, it's going to be a newborn size, right? Like, it's nice to just have to buy the small stuff. So let's talk about books. We're not talking about babies right now. I have my handy dandy jar. Let's get some books. My goal is to get some books that are off my fall TBR as well as books that are on my TBR cart. That's the plan, Stan. A book I discovered on my own. That's not gonna focus. Oh, it was gonna focus and then I moved it. Come on. Doop. Okay, a book I discovered on my own. The Ballerinas. Yes, I totally discovered this on my own. I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and I just really loved the cover, and I loved the title, and so I got it. So yeah, this is about a ballerina who left her company and is coming back to it like 13 years later, and she's trying to reconnect with her friends, but like there's been a little bit of a mystery that happened. So I wanted to read this. I've wanted to read this for a while, so I'm gonna put that on the list. Not on the list, on the October TBR. We got one down. I think I'm just gonna pick 8 books. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Dark Academia. Ooh. An Academy for Liars. This book just came out near the end of September, and I got it in the mail. And this is a dark academic book. It's about this girl who gets invited to this academy where she learns like magic and stuff like that, but there's some nefarious things going on in this academy, and she's trying to figure it out. So I'm excited to read this, and I'm going to put it on my list. I don't know. It's kind of big, so I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I'm hoping that I get to it. I have this. It's a forbidden love trope. I've been trying to figure out, like, what's forbidden, but I think I have one that is a forbidden love. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I think this is forbidden love. I'm going to count it. If it's not, please let me know in the comments. Ooh, horror or thriller. I have the perfect book. I have been wanting to read this for so long. Home is Where the Bodies Are. I have really wanted to be reading this one. It's so short. It's supposed to be a good thriller, really quick and to the point. So excited about this one. Gothic. Whoop. Gothic/eerie vibe. I can do this. There we go. Stalking Jack the Ripper. I heard that this is very gothic and very eerie. I think it was on my TBR last month, but we're gonna do it again. We're gonna try and get to this one, okay? It is a book that I want to read, so we're putting it back on there. MC Has a Cat. There is only one book that I know where the main character has a cat. It would be In the Weeds. In the Weeds by B.K. Morrison is the only one that I can think of where he has a cat. We're gonna add this one, which is nice because it's gonna be a very fluffy read and good in between all of those like not fluffy reads. I got a book that feels fresh. Oh, it's not focusing. A book that feels fresh, I'm gonna say is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice because it's new, it's fresh. Fresh as in new? Fresh as in new? Yeah? Okay, we're gonna go with this one, which is also nice. Another little fluffy read. There you go. Ooh, an adventure book. Adventure book. You know what I'm gonna do is Percy Jackson. I love the Percy Jackson series. I love it. I really want to read it. And yeah, I watched the movies. I watched the TV show. I listened to a podcast that went through the first books, and now I think it's time that I actually just read it for myself. It's so funny. I laugh so hard every time. This is a middle grade book, so I think it'll be easy to go through. I think it'll be fast and easy to like read and get through. Let's just do one more for good character. I don't know. A murder mystery or spooky book. I don't know. Oh. Truly Madly Deadly. This is a murder mystery book where the guy or the secret admirer takes care of the girl's boyfriend, and now she's kind of, or I could do One of Us is Lying. This is also a murder mystery. I think I'm gonna do this one. One of Us is Lying is a murder mystery. They got to figure out like these people went in for what is the word? Detention. They went in for detention, and only like I think it's like 5 went in, 4 came out. We're gonna read. Okay, yeah, this one. Because this one. We have our October books. Again, I don't think I'm going to read all of these in October because I feel very far behind in just like everything that I need to get accomplished before November. And so yeah, November 7th is my due date in case you're like, when are you due? November 7th. And so I'm trying to get up to date before November 7th. I realize a lot of people do not go into labor on their due date, but knowing my luck, I will not get that extra week. So yeah, these are the books that I have picked out for October. I'm actually kind of excited. This looks like a really good TBR move, you know? Like, I feel like there's a lot of good books on here that I could read, like I could be very interested in. So that's exciting. If you guys have any video ideas, I do have a bunch of video ideas that I want to do in October, but October is pretty much my last month for filming. And then in November, I'm taking November off. You'll get one video in November and that'll just be my books wrap up from October. And then I'm going to disappear until December. And so I just want you guys to know that I would love to film some videos in October just for you guys, whatever you're interested in seeing. So please leave those ideas down below. I'm thinking of doing like a spooky, like thriller type of video. I also was thinking of doing kind of more of like a fluffy one. I did just get the new Lynn Painter book where it was like Better Than the Movies is the first one, I think, and Nothing Like the Movies is the second one. I just got Nothing Like the Movies. So if you would like a reading vlog on that, I have that book and I am itching to read it. I also, like, there's so many different things that we could do this month. We could do a video on dark academia books. We could do one on witches. We could do one on, I don't know, whatever. Just let me know anything that you are interested in, anything that you're like, oh, this would be such a good video. I really want to see this one. Please let me know down in the comments, because I'm going to just make videos that you guys want to see this month where like I'll just read the books that you want me to read. So if there's any books in that I've picked out that you're like, oh, I really want you to read this. I cannot buy new books right now because I am still on a book buying ban and I don't have any of the requirements for getting a new book at this time. If you are not familiar, I am on a year-long book buying ban, and so I don't buy books. There are stipulations. One is if I have Pango money, and two is if I have gift cards. Speaking of Pango money, I am now a Pango ambassador. So if you are not familiar with Pango, it is such a great place to buy books. And basically, it's kind of, if you're familiar with thrift books or Amazon, you can buy used books on Pango. Sometimes they're used, sometimes they're new, and you can buy them for pretty cheap. I have a Pango account. All of my books I think are like $5, even though they've never been read. They have just sat on the shelf. They're pretty like new looking, and they have no wear and tear, no weird coffee print or whatever, anything like that. They've never been read, never been touched. I literally bought them and stuck them on the shelf and then never read them. And so they're all on my Pango account for $5. If you are a new Pango user, you can get $5 off of your next book or book purchase, I think, of $10 or more. My link will, my like code, my little code thingy will be down in the comment section. It'll also be on the screen. And yeah, you can just use that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, please leave me down those comments down below. I need to know what you guys want to watch. I need to know so that I can film it. I need to start now. So let me know now and like go back in time and tell me what it is. And yeah, so I'm going to let you go though. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.